Hi, I'm Granny B from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and today is the day I'm finally going to show you how to make a kaleidoscope. Now it's a lot of steps, but it's not hard. The hardest part is finding some mirror, but I'm going to give you some ideas on where to get a mirror, and then we'll just get started. The first time I wanted to make kaleidoscopes, Bruce went to a glass house and just asked...
Is that small or large steps?
They're small steps, baby. But baby steps, baby. So he went to a glass house and asked about some little 1" by 4" mirrors, I think is what we asked for. And he said, how much would that cost me? And the man said, well, let's just go see. He had pieces of broken mirror in the back that were just going to be trash anyway, unless they could find some kind of little, unless they found someone like me who wanted some little scraps of mirror. And so he pulled out a piece and he marked it off, and he got, Bruce said, we need these pieces in multiples of 3. Well, the man gave him 9 pieces of glass and it didn't cost him anything. So I made 3 kaleidoscopes that I gave away as gifts. So if you can't get to a glass cutter, but the other day I was shopping one of my closeout places that I love to shop, and I found this 3-piece locker kit. It has a tall shelf that you put inside your locker so you can have a double stack for your books. It has a magnetic box like this in it where you would keep little things in your locker just to keep your locker organized. But I use these on my refrigerator for all kinds of things. And then the mirror in it, this was the frame. This mirror is plastic. It's the same kind of plastic that they make CDs out of. So if you can find something like this, or a little travel mirror that's made out of plastic, you can cut these with an X-Acto knife. And there's my little X-Acto, well, my little pocket knife. So anyway, I've cut these in 3 equal pieces, and you just lay them out side by side on the back side, and leave a little space between them and tape them together. You need to leave the space so that you can bend them toward each other. I will say, this is going to be a long video, so expect jumps and gaps as I edit it to try to keep it down to 15 minutes. But you do have to take it step by step so that it will be in order. You have to do it in order. So your first step is to put those mirrors together like this. Now you're going to wrap this mirror, and I'm going to wrap them in tissue. This is going to do 2 things. It's going to protect your mirror inside your tube, and it will give it a little bit of more stability. Okay, there's your mirror column. And then you're going to have to find a tube that your mirror column will fit into, and you might even use a spice jar. If I was going to use this spice jar, if my mirrors were short enough, I would cut this off right here, and I would cut this off right here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just giving you some ideas. So there's my column. Now the next thing you're going to need is some cardboard. Now you're going to make a round tube out of this. See, I used a Ritz cracker box. You can use any kind of cardboard. The first thing you're going to do, though, is you need to round something that will help you start making a circle out of the cardboard. So our tube is going to be about that big around. Slide your tube in there again. Slide your prism in there again. Mirror column. And continue to make it tight. Once you get it as tight as you think you can get it, then tape it into place. Now, one end is going to be for your treasure box, and so you'll need 2 clear lenses for that, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then of course one piece is going to be for your peephole, so we're going to need a clear lens for that. To get a clear lens, you can use any kind of little old thing that you buy at the grocery store. You know, everything's wrapped up so we don't steal from them anymore. But so I've got a piece of plastic here, I've got some here, just whatever. You can even use, if you don't have anything from the grocery store that you can cut shapes out of, that one won't work. You can even use these little cutting boards, the little flexible cutting boards. I'm not going to, this is really my cutting board, so I'm not going to use it, but you can. I'm just giving you some options. Okay, so the next step now is to put that tube down onto a piece of cardboard. So we're going to use 3 things of shot glass, but the way you're going to need about 1/4 of an inch extra large, because that's what you're going to glue down with. This is my shot glass, and this is my hand-drawn circle around it. You need a little extra space on these circles. We'll cut those out. Okay. Now in the center of the shot glass circle, you're going to need to draw a bigger area. And on 2 of them, we're going to go probably like that. 2 of them is going to form your, what I call the treasure box. So it's going to look like this. 1 of them is going to be your eyepiece, and we're going to use 1/4 for the eyepiece. Now we're going to put some, you can use tape, you can use a pretty color of tape, or you could use contact paper. And I'm going to use contact paper. We're going to go ahead and put the we're going to go ahead and put this down on our contact paper now. Leave a little bit of space between them. And cut out, give a little bit of space around it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the first one with the eyepiece. This one's going to be the eyepiece. It's got the 1/4 size circle in the middle. And we're going to cut this with your knife. Cut the eyepiece center out with your knife. Okay, there's your eyepiece. We're going to cut this a little bit bigger. So we'll have an area to glue onto your tube. And so the next step is to cut some little triangles out of this. And we're going to cut and make a little snaggle tooth all the way around it. So when you finish, you're going to have a piece that looks like this, kind of like a windmill. It doesn't have to be precise. So I'm just continuing to tape down these little windmill wheels. I messed up. I forgot to put a lens in there, or I can still slip that lens in there. So now that now that you've got your cardboard hole with your tape on it, with your contact paper, we need to cut a lens here, and it's going to be just a little larger than the 1/4. Okay, so there's your lens. We're going to put it in there, and we're going to tape it in place. Okay, now we have a lens. Start over. Center it again where you want it to be, so that the mirror column is hidden, and start taping down your little prongs. All the tabs are down, so now I'm just going to put another little layer of tape on it. Pull it tighter and make it as tight and smooth as you can. You're not going to be able to smooth out all of the rough spots. Okay, there's your eye part. And if you were to look in this right now, you could already see pretty things. You want to see, darling? Can you put it up to the camera and move your hand on it or something and show them pretties?
Let's see if I can.
It'll show you that the mirrors are giving that kaleidoscope effect. So now we're going to do the same thing with what I call the treasure box. Cut that contact paper kind of close. We have to cut the circle out so that you can see what's going to be in your treasure box. And then we have to bend those up to make a container. To make a container, we're going to you just need a piece of cardboard, maybe about that long. So that long, so we're going to make a container that's going to be just smaller than that, but we want to overlap it so it's good and strong. So we need a piece of cardboard about 1/2 inch tall and that long. So that'll do it right there. I've got a good straight edge right here where the box was folded. And so we need a good box about a half inch deep. This has to be smooth, so you have to get a good straight edge on this. Let's start it into a coil. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make this circle probably about like that. So we're going to tape that together. Try it on there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we need 2 more lenses. And the lenses are going to be about that big. We need 2 of these. Okay, we've got two lenses for our treasure box now. And we're just going to put them on there and glue them and tape them down. This has to fit fairly well because it's going to keep your little things together. And you have to have the tape all the way around this. Okay, we've got 1 lens on the bottom. Now we're going to put this onto here, but we also need to cut this circle out so that the light comes through. So back to your little knife. You have this cardboard covering just to give it extra strength. So there's your reinforcement, your cardboard reinforcement for the bottom of your treasure box. And we're just going to center it right in there. Turn it up to make sure that you've got a good fit. And we do. And so we're going to cut those jagged little edges again, just like we did on the lens part. Okay, I've cut the little notches out, and I've gone ahead and bent them into shape. And so now we're going to put this right over this clear lens. Tape it together or glue it together. I'm going to have to tape it. This also strengthens your box, strengthens your treasure box. Make it as smooth as possible, but you're not going to get all the wrinkles out. We've gone all the way around, and now we have the bottom of the treasure box. Now, just look around your house and see whatever you've got. You can put anything in here that you want. As long as it's colorful, it'll be nice. And so I've got, I had an old necklace that got broken and I don't need it anymore. So you can use beads, pearls, push pins. I've got a push pin here. I've got some buttons. I've got an old rock pendant. Just whatever you find. And then aquarium gravels too. So we're going to put treasures in here. Get a good handful of mix. And as long as you cover the bottom, and then when you pick it up like this, it needs to cover at least half of your window. I'm just holding this clear piece up just so Papa Bruce can see this. There.
Hang on. Okay.
I think it needs some more.
Yep. A little bit, not much.
The reason I say only fill it up about halfway is because it has to have room to move. So let's try that again. Okay, so there's the bottom of the treasure box. Here's the lens for the top. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this center part out, put the lens in there, the clear lens in there, and then we're going to jig-jag these so that it will close and make a complete seal there. I need to cut the center out again. Okay, I've cut the top to our treasure box out. I've got the snaggletooth design, and now I'm just going to fold it up to this line that's going to be the top of the box. And we're going to fit that. We're going to fit this. Oh, put the lens in first. Can't forget the lens. All our treasures would be all over the floor. Just make sure it completely covers that top there. Fit it a little at a time. And again, the Scotch tape is just going to keep reinforcing that top. Every inch has to be covered here because some of those little beads are small. You don't want them breaking free. So there's your treasure box. And now we're going to put the other end on it. And we're going to do just like we did with the bottom. That's what we're going to do with the top. Now this doesn't have to look good because this is going to be covered up anyway. Okay, we've got our treasure box completely done. We've got our treasure box completely done. We can put it on the end of this and look through it, and oh my goodness, all the beauty. All the beauty is there. The next step is to fit it on the bottom and make another sleeve that's going to hold that in place where you can still turn it. So cut a piece of cardboard large enough to go around your treasure box. And this one does. You can trim it smaller. Run it over your table so you can get a good circular. Now this piece, it only needs to come up about this far, just so you can slide it up onto the viewing tube and still be able to turn this around. Some people, I'm only throwing this in here, don't let me confuse you. Some people will go ahead and make another whole tube, but then this won't turn. You just have to turn the whole kaleidoscope. But you've seen that kind where you just turn the kaleidoscope, and then other ones have where you turn the treasure box part. So that's the way we're going to do it. So we only need about 2 inches past your box. And we want that to be smooth, so we're going to do it right here. Now we're going to go ahead and put some contact paper on this one too. We're going to turn the edge down just a little bit, so we need a little bit on each side. Oh, I've got a little trick for you, and I'm going to need to use it. So whenever you have sticky things that you can't peel apart, use 2 pieces of tape. Put 1 piece of tape on one side, hold it, put the other piece of tape on the other side, and hold it, and then just peel them apart. Neat little trick. Now, as y'all know, contact paper isn't just the stickiest, and we don't want this to come apart, so we're also going to tape that edge. Okay. We're going to roll that tube up in there. We're going to roll this tube around our box, and we're going to make sure that it is sticking as we go. So. Okay. All right, we've covered this little part that holds your treasure box, And then the viewing tube slips down in there. I had to put a couple of extra little strips inside to make a good tight fit. But there it is. You turn that and you can see all those beautiful designs that a kaleidoscope makes. So the only thing we have to left to do now is put contact paper on the viewing tube. Make it as smooth as you can get it, but there's going to be some wrinkles in it. I don't know how to make it wonderful. It's just good enough for fun. So now you just put it in. It's tight enough to stay in place, but loose enough to turn. And that's how you do it. Hope you liked it. Hope you want to make one for your friends or your grandchildren or whatever. You can teach them how to do it too, even though it's a lot of steps. It's not hard. And I'm going to see if Papa Bruce can get a picture on the inside here.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
I'm going to edit it a lot because I know this is a long one, and I hope I can get it down to 15 minutes. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.